Hello everyone, I'm Ravi Sharma and I'm excited to be here today to present our paper. In this presentation, we'll explore a novel approach for handling non-sensitive posts in mental wellness apps and how peer-generated training data can be leveraged to create empathetic and contextually aware responses without any follow-up questions. Mental wellness apps can be classified into two categories based on how they process user input. The first category apps like Shine, MoodKit, and Calm offer generic relaxation techniques like meditation and mindfulness practices, while the second category app like Uper, Wobot, and Visa provides personalized AI-driven support through conversational interactions. Challenges for these apps include accurately addressing users' mood problem and balancing human interactions with AI-driven accessibility. Engagement is crucial when a post is sensitive, which requires immediate intervention. However, for non-sensitive posts, three important questions arise. Number one, is further engagement necessary with the subject when the post do not indicate any mood problems? Number two, is more exploration of the subject mood still necessary? And number three, if not, how do apps deal with posts that do not reflect any mood problems? Here are some examples of non-sensitive posts. These do not require any further engagement or exploration. In fact, by refraining from unnecessary explorations of posts without mood problems, mental wellness apps can save users time and allocate resources more effectively. This approach respects user privacy, avoids intrusiveness, and fosters a positive user experience. However, it is essential for the app to strike a balance between addressing non-sensitive posts appropriately without dismissing them to maintain a supportive and empathetic environment. The objective is to create an automated conversational agent that responds to non-sensitive posts from the students. The response should be contextual, emotionally appropriate, empathetic, and should not ask follow-up questions. We collaborated with Ajivar, a personalized mental wellness app, to access data over 1,451 students containing 9,090 de-identified posts. The posts were curated by Ajivar's counselors to protect user privacy, and out of these, 6,392 were identified as non-sensitive, meaning they did not indicate any mental health concern or emotional distress explicitly. The dataset was validated by trained experts. Examples of such non-sensitive posts are provided for reference. Peer support has been proven to be valuable in addressing mental health concerns, especially in college settings where students often encounter relatable challenges. Recognizing this, the study aimed to investigate the efficacy of peer-focused dataset in generating responses for non-sensitive posts. The study involved 6 current or recent students, 3 male and 3 female, who were asked to respond to a subset of 3,000 randomly chosen posts out of the 6,392 posts. They were instructed to offer contextual, empathetic, and non-intrusive responses based on their college experiences. Each male and female provided responses to 1,000 posts. The student did not collaborate during the study, and here are some examples of the responses provided by peers. In order to have a uniform data format to compare and test the models, we use Sparl AI, that is open source software platform for dialogue research implemented in Python and is available for public use. The study compared the peer dataset and with the widely recognized Facebook empathic dialogue dataset, known for its emotion annotation and fine-grained labels. FED's multi-turn conversations are used as a benchmark for AI models generating empathetic responses. The peer dataset converted to Parl AI dialog format and was later incorporated into the Parl AI framework for easy processing. To generate empathetic and terminal responses, the study utilized the Dialog GPT model, a large-scale pre-trained model trained on 147 million conversations with performance comparable to human evaluation in single-turn dialogue setting. The Dialog GPT model was fine-tuned using the FED dataset, following an approach similar to a previous study. Different batch sizes and epochs were experimented to find the model with minimum perplexity. The same fine-tuning process was applied to peer-generated dataset using 3,000 post-response pair for training and validation, and the remaining 3,392 posts for testing. Early stopping was used to prevent overfitting. These are some of the responses generated from the models fine-tuned on Facebook's empathetic dataset and our peer dataset. As you can see, while both generate empathetic responses, our responses do not ask follow-up questions. The study evaluated responses from two models, DialogGPT fine-tuned on FED and DialogGPT fine-tuned on PED, using 3,392 posts and their generated responses from the testing dataset. The evaluation employed emotional reaction, interpretation, and exploration matrices proposed by researchers from University of Washington, which quantify empathy on a scale of 0 to 2. The default model and parameters from the proposed study were used to generate scores for all 3,392 responses in these three evaluation matrices. The study shows that fine-tune on peer dataset is comparable to fine-tuning on the Facebook dataset for emotional response and interpretation matrices with minor differences. As you can see in the table, however, PED results in a model with very low exploration, which is advantageous as excessive probing can be intrusive. With only 3,000 responses for training, the PED fine-tuned model achieves the goal for generating contextually and emotionally aware responses, and it outperforms the FED model in avoiding perception of intrusiveness, which is ideal for non-sensitive posts. Apart from automatic evaluation, we also conducted a human evaluation of 200 randomly selected generated responses for three models: base GPT without fine-tuning, fine-tuning on FED, and fine-tuning on PED. 4 current college students, 2 males and 2 females, and a campus wellness expert participated in the evaluation using the 5 matrices to assess the responses on a scale of 0 to 1. These 5 matrices, namely acceptability, cognition, emotion, intrusiveness, and emotional overload. Ideally, we wanted 1 for acceptability, cognition, and emotion, and 0 for intrusiveness and emotional overload. Evaluators found most responses from the base DialogGPT model unacceptable, making other matrices less relevant. The average scores for the models fine-tuned with FED and PED were similar, except for intrusiveness, where the FED-tuned model had 57.4% intrusive responses, while the PED-tuned model had only 3.9%. Both models had relatively low emotional overload scores. If you see evaluator-wise, the student evaluator found a significantly consistent number of responses as intrusive from the model fine-tuned with FED. However, very surprisingly, our external evaluator trained in model mental wellness for college students found only a handful of responses from the FED-tuned model as intrusive. It is fascinating, and this can only mean that counselors are so used to asking questions in mental health evaluation that they do not see exploration as a problem. However, the student evaluator certainly felt exploration was being intrusive on these non-sensitive posts. This difference in opinion is an investigation worth pursuing as our future study over a large-scale population for expert and students. On the other hand, the model fine-tuned with PED received minimal responses deemed intrusive by student evaluators, significantly lower than the FED-tuned model. Additionally, the expert evaluator did not identify any intrusive responses in the PED-tuned model either. Also note that the student evaluators found emotionally overloaded responses for both PED and FED model, but the expert evaluator did not identify responses to that extent in either model. This difference in perception may be due to the mental health experts' conditioning to be kind and so sensitive to the subjects with mood problem, leading to a greater tolerance for emotionally overloading responses, unlike the student evaluators. The evaluation's results indicate a positive correlation between acceptability and emotion and cognition scores. Evaluator considered emotional and cognitive factors as crucial in determining response acceptability. However, some responses with cognition or emotion score of 1 were still rejected due to perceived intrusiveness or emotional overload. On further evaluation, evaluator reveals that despite relevance and emotional intelligence, these intrusive responses made them uncomfortable, leading to their rejection. The study has certain limitations that need to be considered. Firstly, the dataset used for the study is limited in size and focused specifically on college students for non-sensitive posts. As a result, the findings and conclusions drawn from this dataset may not be applicable or generalized to other populations outside of the college student demographic or for sensitive posts. Secondly, the peer dataset utilized in the study may not fully encompass the wide diversity of experiences and background found across different colleges and regions. The responses provided by peer students may be influenced by their unique individual perspectives and college environment, which might not fully capture the entire spectrum of user experiences seen in mental wellness app across various settings. To improve the reliability, in future research, we plan to expand the dataset and include a more diverse user representation encompassing large pool of college students and individuals from various backgrounds and age groups. This would lead to a more comprehensive understanding of mental wellness app effectiveness across different demographics. Additionally, the study plans to extend its scope to include other vulnerable populations such as veterans, law enforcement officers, domestic violence victims, and older adults. Finally, we conclude our presentation by saying mental wellness apps play a vital role in understanding users' issue and offer mood elevation through interactive questioning. However, this approach can be intrusive for students who do not have any significant mood problems. Our study focuses on handling non-sensitive posts in mental wellness apps to avoid intrusive follow-up questions. Using peer-generated training data, the AI model produces empathetic, contextually aware, and terminal responses. It is important to note that the perception of intrusiveness varies among peers, trained counselors, indicating the need for balanced approach that respects user privacy while providing emotional support. Thank you all for your attention during this presentation. I hope you find the information and findings valuable and insightful. If you have any questions and would like to discuss any aspect further, I'm happy to answer. Thank you.